Hello, everybody. Happy Friday. Last Friday of April. Tomorrow's May and my birthday. Turning 26 for the 10th year in a row. Hey guys, it's Dave Neal, comedian and host of Bachelor Recap. We've got Kristina Schulman. We're going to play a clip of her hanging out with some other Bachelor alum talking about Reality Steve. Now, if you guys remember, 6 days ago, I made a video called Kristina Schulman Blasts Reality Steve in her Instagram stories. She said, I credit that hell to Reality Steve. She talks about the hell that she has received in her personal life, having had to deal with the DMs from Reality Steve, threatening to expose information. Let's just hear her talk about it. Of course, she went on Instagram stories and talked about it after the Chatty Broads kind of exposed some of his processes, and as we've been talking about how the sausage has made it, how the sausage is made has made people kind of feel a little gross, thinking that we believed a lot of these rumors and hearsay and had opinions kind of molded about these people that are really just people that went on a dating reality show. We've become kind of obsessive in a mob, and we kind of have this holier than thou vibe, like, oh, so-and-so cheated on so-and-so, and it's like, make your bed, all right, Nancy, you know what I mean? So let's play this, and by the way, this is, we've got Natasha, Tayshia, Kristina, and Grocery Store Joe, which, by the way, no one's had more of a come-up in Bachelor Nation than Grocery Store Joe. He was voted out the first episode of his season and became some sort of mythical fan favorite because he was a good-looking guy from Chicago and everyone wanted to know about his produce aisle, if you know what I mean. Careful with those mangoes. So anyway, folks, let's play this. I'll take a few notes and we'll talk about it.
Say things. Mm-hmm. And sometimes you either believe it because he had concrete proof.
Sorry for the audio.
Or you just take his word for it. So when he said, I know you're with Dean, I wasn't sure if I should take his word for it. And then when he sent me a picture, like, oh, here's a picture, like I have it. I was like, okay. And then I was like, please don't. Like, again, there's people in my life that this is going to affect and I haven't had a chance to tell them. So he still posted it.
But so it wasn't a question. He wasn't like, hey, can I post this? Or what do you think about this? He just said, I'm posting this. I'm letting you know before I do it, period. That's kind of what the context was. Okay, got it.
Right. And when you said, please don't. Sorry, Tayshia. Go ahead. No, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, it sounds like obviously like this was not the first time you had spoken to him. And by him, I mean Reality Steve. Mm-hmm. So was this the first time that he had a photo that he can actually expose and before it was just like words, or like how did you guys start talking in the beginning?
In the beginning, it actually dates back to post my season of The Bachelor airing. And there was another person's name involved that he pretty much despises. Mm-hmm. And the conversation was that I was seeing this guy and how slimy this guy that I was seeing is. And he starts sending me some screenshots of emails that people would send him or messages. So that's where he kind of got my credibility because he had proof of people sending in stuff. And I would read these messages myself. And I was like, okay, so this guy, I mean, I was all new to it. So I was like, he has credibility, he has sources, people are messaging him. That's when it first started. And then I remember him publishing something that wasn't true. And I asked about the person that I was seeing. Mm-hmm. And I said, kind of like, that's incorrect. He said, do you want me to change it? And I said, yes, because that's not the truth. And like, he never did. So that's where it first started. And then my season of Paradise started. And then he also sent me, more messages that are like proof of email, like a screenshot about a person that doesn't matter how much somebody wants to know information. This is something you just don't send out to anyone.
Got it.
It's, like I have this vision of a person in my mind, like at the beginning, I was like, wow, this person did this. And like that totally changed my kind of perspective on them. But to this day, I'm like, it just.
This is hard to follow. this is hard to follow. It's not exactly the most riveting info, but the point is that she's had her opinion about people sculpted based off information he's shared. And I guess it comes down to some sort of like morality issue where you wonder, look, if you knew every text your girlfriend or boyfriend sent, you might not like them because maybe they confided in somebody else, or maybe they, we don't know everything about everybody is the point. So someone might have a dark past, or someone might have something they're not proud of, and you want to be in a relationship and pursue someone with sort of rose-colored glasses, right? You want to give them you want to have that optimism that they are a good person, and then when you know everyone's dirt, it's kind of hard to come back from that. What reality Steve seems to be doing here isn't exactly wrong, it's definitely in a legal sense, but by all means, it's like it makes you wonder, like, if he's texting Kristina Schulman, is it pertinent to his career? Is it pertinent to information people need? Is it something that he's doing for the business side of things? Or is it sort of this game he's playing with a pretty young lady? You know what I mean?
Find out if that was true. This thing that he said, or allegedly is true, because like I said earlier in the podcast, I could create an email right now that says, blah, blah, blah from Joe, and email you some awful things about myself or Tayshia. And it's like, right. Joe said this? Oh my.
So again, sorry to interrupt here, but if you watch my last video with Jenna Cooper, that I just made like an hour ago, what you'll see is that somebody had admitted during JoJo season to making up information, sending it to Reality Steve, and he posted it as if it were fact without any vetting whatsoever. And then when the person said, hey, I was just kidding about this, he was like, no, don't worry. I know you're afraid to tell your truth, but I trust you. And it kind of became one of this thing, like anything that even remotely looked like a spoiler or a news story or dirt, he was going to process that as fact.
My God, but it was really me, So it's like, did you ever find out if those things were actually true that he was saying or not?
And Natasha, don't do that, okay?
I won't.
Oh my God, Joe!
I won't do that. I'm just saying how easy it is. How easy it is.
I completely agree. But in my case, there was like 2 different emails that were structured about almost a very similar topic, and it would honestly take like language interpreter to like interpret the email if there was similarities in writing. I did not want to find out whatever was written in that message if it was true, because it's horrific.
Yes,
but to send something like that to me, like even if I'm begging for information, don't do it.
Yes.
And I just want to know that everyone might be like, well, why are you even talking to him? Why are you even reading these messages? Blah, blah, blah. I'm sorry, but we're human. Okay.
We're human.
And when somebody messages us and says like, oh, I have this information, like, we're all curious. We're all going to read it. Like we're not above any of that. So you kind of like start getting into this hole of like, okay, wait, this guy has facts. This guy has information. Like, and you start to believe. That's the problem. I think here is the fact is like some things are concrete proof, like that he's saying, like the photo of you and Dean. Clearly you guys were together, but then there's other things that he could just be fabricating that you really can't tell what's real and what's not.
And it's like if he was willing to send stuff like that to me about someone else, what was he doing to somebody else about me?
Exactly.
So that kind of like, I was like.
So I'm listening to this and I'm trying to figure out like what his motive is, because to me, it just sounds like, in your case, it sounds like he's he would be a creepy, jealous ex-boyfriend. So for just a stranger to be doing this to you, I'm just like, it's just so bizarre. It really is. And like, I don't understand what kind of person would do this.
Yeah. It's a good question. Grocery Store Joe is looking at this from the same sort of benefit that most guys, that where you go, where's the end game? What are you trying to do? Is this to get laid, or is this for your channel? Like, which is it? Because it doesn't seem like it's really crazy good info. As Tayshia pointed out, she goes, people ask, why read the info? And she goes, because we're human. I woke up last week to a Reddit thread that was like, what do you guys think about Dave Neal? And I was like, oh my gosh, panic attack. But I got to read what they're saying. And maybe at some point you get burned enough where you realize not to even read it, not to open it up. But that's the problem, is we all have these devices in our pocket that can be amazing or so detrimental to our health depending on what we do with them. And, you know, like we don't always possess the strength to overcome that. I mean, cell phones are designed by people that know how to design slot machines. They know how to pull at your dopamine and your rush and your, oh man, like, yeah, it's like, watch The Social Dilemma, guys. I mean, it is fascinating and sad at the same time. So for these contestants, you know, normal people that went on a show, for them to pop open their DMs and find out that Reality Steve has photos of them with someone who it's not official yet and you don't want people to know. It takes away the anonymity. By the way, look at Natasha's face right here. She's just like, oh, we got some tea today. And yeah, you guys like the fact that I shared some the Chris Rock Google image there. I'm sorry, I said Chris Rock. The Rock. Wow. I mean, that's a pretty good looking match there. I think I did a good job of pulling the two together. Who knew that Kristina Schulman and The Rock were you know, he was her alter ego there with the fanny pack, this guy. Anyway, I digress. It's a Friday. Give me the chance to digress a little bit. But the point being is that you don't know, just like I don't know what you do in the position where there's dirt on you. And then you start getting skeptical of like, well, what dirt does he have on me that he's sharing with other people? And then if this is true, then maybe this other thing he's saying is true. And it's like, whoa, pump the brakes. Like, this is supposed to be a reality dating show. We're not supposed to know, you know, the day to day of the little nitty gritty. Now, don't get me wrong. What if Dale and Claire are back together and there's a paparazzi video of them that's out there, we'll track that till the cows come home. Absolutely. But then you get some things that like, reckoning with what's too far versus what's acceptable knowledge for the audience, that's what we have to grapple with. Now, I know people say, and it's the most common thing in the world, well, they signed up for the show. So I think, you know, it's like, no, listen, nobody in their right mind signs up to have their day-to-day followed in a way where they're being picked apart and their bad days are being exposed. I mean, they're not A-listers, multimillionaires over here. You know, they're just normal people that are thrown into a situation that can wreck their relationships. Tayshia had to deal with that. She had to deal with Reality Steve interviewing her ex. She had to deal with you know, the reports that she woke up with Zach. And I know I am also guilty for flaming those fires and spreading them. All I can say is this, moving forward, especially if I haven't in the past, is talking about scenarios without knowing the truth and acknowledging we don't know the truth. Oh, interesting. You know, you see the scenario where Jason Tartick, Jason and Caitlin Bristow, like she didn't like one of his photos for like a whole year straight. And it's like, wow, that's kind of interesting, but like, we don't know what their relationship status is like. So it just comes down to pumping the brakes. Talking about it in a fan fiction way is fine, but thinking that you can have a point of view because you know the ins and outs of it, it's just not true. Reality Steve seems to enjoy the different aspects of what he does, releasing spoilers that more often than not turn out to be true, but then dabbling in the gossip, which more often than not turns out to be false, or it's skewed by whatever his opinion he has on the situation. So we have to be able to slice them apart and recognize spoilers versus gossip. And you just have to know as an audience member, you have to flare the difference. All right, well, maybe he's got it right. He's going to start sharing spoilers for Katie Thurston's season of The Bachelor. We're going to start dumping those doubloons, as it were. That's fine, absolutely. But if we're kind of like wondering about like so-and-so getting caught in some scandal, let's take a break, realize everyone's got their own issues they're working on, and it might be more complicated than whatever screenshots or tea was spilt. And then, of course, Grocery Store Joe puts it best. He's kind of got creepy, jealous ex-boyfriend vibes, because that's exactly what it is. There would never be a scenario in which anyone would care this much about someone's personal life other than you're running your business, and Reality Steve has the right to run his business and make his money the way he makes it. The only problem is, of course, the collateral damage that comes with that. Can you run your business, releasing your spoilers, having your opinion without bringing someone's personal life into it, to the point where they are afraid of you? So go check out the other video I made about Kristina Schulman. And if you haven't already and you have some time to kill, I got a 2.5 hour birthday live stream from yesterday. Oh, sorry. I was on the wrong tab here. So this is my birthday live stream from yesterday. My birthday is, of course, tomorrow, May 1st, but I thought I would share this. And I've got my web redemption story for Sarah Trott, kind of giving her the love that she needs out there that she didn't get on the show, and, a couple other fun videos. If there's any other breaking news, I'll bring it to you guys today. Oh, I wanted to tell you this. I've got a Patreon. I've had this for a couple of years. It's where I share my super behind the scenes analytic look. My dog's crying in the background. I got to let him out. Usually the dog lays on the floor and he's just excited to be next to me, but he must have to pee. So anyway, I'll keep it quick. The Patreon is my private podcast where I share with you guys all the behind the scenes info of my YouTube channel, stand-up comedy, Bachelor news, and we've got some interesting storylines today. I made this episode first thing in the morning. It's my morning coffee with you guys. You can go to patreon.com/thesap, patreon.com/THESAP if you want to catch all that. Either way, I appreciate all the new subscribers. Hit the like button, leave a comment, and I will see you guys later on. Bye now.